Today we're going to talk about LED light bulbs and how many watts each one that I have that I'm going to demonstrate for you today. We'll be right back. Hey guys, this is Joe Tech here. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can take a look down here. I'll give a link down here. Today we're going to look into how many watts LED light bulbs actually take. But before I go into that, is that I used to have these compact fluorescents. Look at the size of these things. These things are huge. I used to use these two for my lights that are actually shining onto me. Each one of these drew about 45 watts a piece. Actually, they draw 45 watts a piece and put out 125 watts of light, supposedly. They are 5,500 Kelvin, so they're really white, which is what the other lights that I have up here now. And what I did is that these are okay, they work fine, but since it gets a little cold down here, these take a little while to warm up, just like any, circular compact fluorescent light bulb does. So when they first turn on, they draw about 41 watts, and about 5 minutes later, 7 minutes later, the full brightness. But I don't want to have to wait that long. So what I did was I went to LED. So I got rid of these babies. I mean, I still physically have them, but these came with the kit. And I bought a Y, a socket. Yeah, it's a socket Y that has two LED bulbs on it, and each one of those bulbs produce 100 watts of light. So I have 200 watts of light now. So a total of 400, 200 here and 200 here of LED light coming on to me instead of these compact fluorescent light bulbs. So what we're going to do today is that the bulbs that we're using, that I'm using in these things is this particular one. It's a FEIT, F-E-I-T, and they come as a 10-pack. This is 5,000 Kelvin. And this is really nice light bulb, but it's too white for regular use in the house. For this concept, for shining light onto me, I'd rather have that, and it's instant on, so I don't have to worry about anything warming up or anything. So that's why I did this. So I have instead of being 250 watts of light pounding me in the face, I have 400 now. 200 on this side and 200 on this side, which is much better. Plus they're LED, which is even better, so they draw less. So believe it or not, these two bulbs in this one and these two bulbs in this one draw less than both of these put together. So each one of these draw, so that's 90 watts total for those two. Now I'm only doing 60. So this light bulb, which I'm about to show you now, I have a device here called a kilowatt meter, and I have a socket on it, and it plugs right in, and we're gonna plug in light bulbs. I have many LED light bulbs, so I wanted to show you that these two are the same. These are 5,000 Kelvin, and you'll see how white they are. We'll show you on that. This is a common Newegg light bulb that you can get. It draws 7 watts, and supposedly, and we're going to find out actually how much it draws. 7 watts. This kilowatt meter is very, very accurate, so I love it. And it puts out 40 watts of light. All the light bulbs I have do 40 watts, except for I have a 60 watt bulb I'll bring down as well. And they're 2,700 Kelvin. So they're more of a yellow tinge, what we used to with incandescent bulbs, which is why I like them better. But I can't have incandescent light, like yellowish tinge coming onto me this way, because it won't bring out my flesh tones when I'm recording. It'll look weird. It'll look like I have a really heavy tan. So I don't want to do that. These are made by LG. These are also supposedly, I think these are 4.5 watts, I think. No, I'm sorry, these are 7.5 watts, and they produce 40 watts. So this is 7.5 watts, this is 7 watts, that 40 watts, 40 watts, 7.5, 7 watts. I have 2 of them, so I have 2 pairs, and then I have and those are 2,700 Kelvin. These are 5,000 Kelvin, and these draw 15 watts apiece. These draw 15 watts apiece, and we're going to find out what they do. I'm going to get, this is a 60 watt output bulb and draws 9.5 watts. So we're going to find out with the kilowatt meter how much wattage this actually does. So right now I'm going to put in this 60 watt bulb, 2,700 Kelvin. Damn, that's bright. And this is only 60 watts of light. I mean, it works really well. All right, so this supposedly does 9.5 watts, and it only draws 6. So this is very efficient, more efficient than what the box says. So we can actually we can find out what the volt amps are. So this is 8 VA, 8 volt amps, this light bulb, and it draws 6 watts of power. 6 watts of power for 60 watts. So that's pretty darn good. That's a great ratio. So let's go to the next bulb. So let's go to the LG. This is an LG light bulb. This does 7.5 watts draw and produces 40 watts of light. Let's see how much that draws. So it's supposed to be 7.5 watts. So if it's bouncing between 5 and 6, that means it's 5.5 watts, because there's nowhere to go. So it's that one's 5.5. So it says 7.5, but really is 5.5. So that's pretty efficient. So my household is filled with these LEDs. My whole house is LED. Every single one, minus this beforehand. That's the only thing that I had that wasn't LED. All my hi-hats in my room are LED. They draw 10 watts and produce 65 watts. 2,700 Kelvin away up. 2,700 Kelvin as well, but I have 13 of them. So total wattage, electrical wattage, AC wattage you want to call, is 130 watts. So every light in my room is on right now, and I'm only drawing 130. Beforehand, if I had a 65 watt bulb in each one of them, 65 times 13, maron, forget about it. So this is draws 5.5 watts, not 7.5. So let's go to this one. This I don't even think what brand this is. I just bought this at on Newegg. Model number is CL-L60A1. Oh, that would be interesting if it's a 60 watt bulb. I wouldn't have. Maybe it is a 60 watt bulb. I know those are 40. Seven. Well, it's interesting. I know I bought these are 40s. See? But it's interesting. It's only the top half of the bulb that lights. It's not the full thing. So it's interesting. So this also draws 6 watts of power and says it draws 7. So also under, unless my meter is off, which is possible, but everything's been dead on bulbs accurate. So that's that bulb. Now I'm going to show you the bright one. This is a 100 watt. It looks like it's on, doesn't it? That's funny. These are the light bulbs that are in the lights that are the box lights that are left and right of me. So what do you see? This thing. This is bright. I need sunglasses. Where are my sunglasses? This draws 12 and it bounces to 13. So it's like 12.5 watts. But the box says right there 15 watts. 15 watts of power. So also, probably, I mean, they could be underrated. They could change. Wow, that's bright. Holy crap. I'm getting a suntan already. So as you can clearly see, this is a very bright light, and it only draws between 12.5 to 13 watts of power and produces 100 watts of light. I have 2 of these in those box lights. It's nuts, so freaking bright. But it's a very obnoxious white light. So this is 5,000 Kelvin. All the other lights that you've seen today were 2,700 Kelvin, which is what we're eyes are used to. I already starting to get a headache from this stupid thing. So imagine 2 of them like this in a V formation. I'll show a picture right here or right here, whichever one I decide to do. Actually, no, these 2 are not the same. These 2 are the same. I have 2 of these babies in each each box light, and it works very well. I'm much better. I'm much happier with this type of light than the compact fluorescent. I was worried that the frequency that the LED gives off, some LED lights give off a kind of a weird frequency. You actually can see it in some videos I've done that it pulsates the light. They're not always on, like they're pulsating very, very quickly, and they tend to give like an artificial weird line going through the monitor, but it doesn't, obviously. Everything, I can see it on the monitor above the camera. Everything looks great. And it's super bright, and I like it. So, anyway, I recommend these light bulbs, Feet. They work phenomenal. Actually, this is the only light bulb and LG light bulbs that I have in my house. And everything in my house is LED. Every single light, every single fan, ceiling fan that I have has LED light bulbs in it. Every one. I even bought converters because my daughter's fan has a different light bulb. I forgot it's like a medium base. It's weird. I don't know even why they even did that. They should get smacked around across the head. But this happens to be a 60 watt bulbs, and these are 2,700 Kelvin. On the back, it gives you a chart here. It tells you what the light, the color of the softness of the color of the light, either being more yellowish or that orangey yellowish tinge, which is what we're more used to. It's more easy on the eyes, versus all the way up to 5,000 Kelvin or whatever this chart goes up to. It goes warm to cool, but that's what that means. These light bulbs, the ones that are shining on my face, are cool. So, anyway, I know you're curious on how much this thing draws. So I'm going to plug this in now. And you want to see how bright this is, which does the same thing as the other bulb, except it's much bigger. So right now it shows 40 watts of power, but if you give it a moment, it'll actually draw more and more and more as it warms up. So this light bulb gives off 125 watts of light. Holy mackerel. But I'm not going to move it yet. It'll hit 45 watts and be fully, but it generates so much heat. It's crazy. It'll hit 45 watts. So anyway, let's move this around so you can see how bright this is. Whew, holy crap-a-toli. I can't take it anymore. Whew, that is nuts. And it generates this enormous amount of heat, which is what I don't like. I don't like when it generates a lot of heat. So anyway, I recommend, I'll have a description, I link to how to buy these lights in the description below. And you got to go LED, man. It's the way to go now. I saved my electric bill, my lighting electric bill went down 90%. 90. That's unheard of. I mean, especially when you go all LED. So even if my kids leave the light on, which I still complain about because you're still wasting electricity. However, if they did, my light fixture. Most of my fan light fixtures have 3 of these LG lights, and this is solid metal. Just so you know, this is metal. These are plastic, and this is metal. So this light bulb feels a little heavier, but it has a heavier heat sink on it. These are not available anymore. I bought these many years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago, and they still work great. So all my ceiling fans, I have 1, 2, 3. I have 5 ceiling fans. One of them have the 60-watt bulbs in the living room. I have 3 of these 60-watt. This actually came out of the living room, so I could bring it down to show you. Has 3 of these 60 watts in them, and the rest of the house has 40-watt bulbs, 3 40-watt bulbs. Which, you know what, I'll probably take pictures and show them. I'll put them up over here or over there, whichever, on both sides. And these, I've never had a problem with them. I have never had one fail. Even my outside floodlights are LED. I got them in the backyard, I got them in the front yard, I got them on the deck. Everything is LED. Because I'm tired of replacing light bulbs, to be honest with you. And those are waterproof. Everything that's outside is all waterproof LED. So, as you can clearly see, LED is the way to go. You gotta go LED. Gotta go LED. Gotta go LED. If you like this video, thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And we'll see you next time. Take care.